Okay, good evening. Welcome to our council meeting. If you're joining us on one of the technological ways, we welcome you. And so we will start out, Mr. Administrator, with the roll call.
Councilmember Cross.
Present.
Councilmember Holman.
Present.
Councilmember Licio.
Present.
Councilmember Tabbitt.
Present.
Mayor Olson.
Present. Okay, thank you very much. The next thing is Pledge Allegiance. I would ask you to rise and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
and justice for all.
Thank you. A little difficult in the way we're operating here, but still important to do our pledge. At this time, City Administrator, I'd ask you if there's any changes or additions to the agenda.
There was one addition, item 8A, another business, cancellation of May Park rentals.
Okay. All right. At this time, public comments. Were any public comments received, Brad?
We have no comments that were received.
Okay. So we'll move on into the consent agenda. The following items are considered non-controversial by staff and are recommended to be read and passed in one motion. Any council person, staff, citizen, or meeting attendee can request one or more items be pulled from the consent agenda, and the item will be pulled and addressed immediately after the passage of the consent agenda. Otherwise, the following items will be passed in one motion. A, approve the city council minutes from April 21st, 2020. B, approve the payment of bills and finance report. C, approve amended job description for streets and utilities maintenance position. D, approve payment of license plate reader, LPR maintenance fee with the drug forfeiture fund. E, approve seasonal vending application for Maury's Fish House located at 15811 Audubon Way, subject to the conditions of approval. F, approve amendment of the job description for finance specialist position. G, authorize issuance of $32,850 check to Breeden Person Trust for deposit with the district court for condemnation actions related to the 2020 Excelsior Road and 2020 North Forest Field projects. Look for a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Cross.
Second.
And by Connie. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Nope.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No, we have to do a voice vote.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's hard to get used to. Brad?
Yes, we do have to do by roll call. We'll do it in alphabetical order. Cross,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Licio,
Yes.
Tabbitt,
Yes.
and Olson.
Yes. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on. Number 8, other business, cancellation of May Park rentals. City Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As council is fully aware, back in March, we declared a local emergency related to the COVID-19 pandemic. That declaration listed city services that the city would provide during the governor's peacetime emergency. It also identified certain services that we were to suspend during that same period of time. Included in that was the suspension of the rental of park facilities. At the time that the declaration was declared, the city did have 11 reservations that were on the calendar. Not knowing how long the declaration would remain in effect, we've sat and monitored the matter and have not taken any action related to those 11 registrations. On Thursday, as you are aware, the governor extended the stay-at-home order through the end of May 17th. While the order did loosen up some regulations related to business and workplace guidelines, it did not make any adjustments to outdoor recreation activities in particular the social distancing components. Due to the extension of the stay-at-home order, the current social distancing guidelines, and the postponement of hiring seasonal staff due to the pandemic, administration is recommending that the council cancel and issue a full refund for the 5 reservations that were scheduled between May 23rd and May 31st. If you do that, we will continue to monitor the matter, and we'll bring forth a recommendation for the June or the remaining reservations upon the outcome of what the governor lays out as we approach the May 18th or the end of May 17th, the stay-at-home order. So with that, we're asking council for discussion and to take action.
Okay. Council comments? Lucio?
If the governor lifts the stay-at-home order starting the 17th, would there not be enough time to prepare for those reservations beginning on the 23rd, or why do we have to cancel those now?
Well, those are the easiest way to describe it is we do a spring cleaning of all the facilities that have not yet to take place. According to our park superintendent, Handel, he indicated that based on the last few years of data, that it takes approximately 25 to 28 hours to clean the 5 facilities that we have that we rent out.
And are the reservations at all 5 of them?
I believe 3 of the 5. And the context is meeting the minimum maintenance of our park system. We only have 4 FTEs, and doing the mowing, doing the trash cleanup and things of that nature. We're extending those 4 FTEs to the full extent possible. It would require the seasonal help to be able to do that. And we have postponed or held off hiring seasonal because of the social distancing guidelines. Our goal and objective the whole way through this has been to protect the health and safety of all of our employees, the FTEs and the seasonal. And if we're not able to keep them in an environment where they're staying a minimum of 6 foot separation, is what we've been concerned with. Park Superintendent Handel is working on trying to identify how he would be able to provide a safe work environment for the RFTs, as well as to identify how many seasonal help that he can bring on and be able to accomplish that, but I do not have that just yet.
Okay, Brad, just refresh our memories again. Now, there's been so many press releases and so on and so forth on this. So I missed the governor's this week, but the next one is the 17th.
The stay-at-home order expires on 11:59 p.m. May 17th.
Okay.
Evening.
And so if he does lift the stay at home, does social distancing go away too, or is that still, we don't know, maybe?
We don't know that. The one thing that you've heard me say on several occasions since the declaration is that social distancing is more than likely going to be in place between the time that we had the first stay-at-home order until such time we have a vaccination. If there is any loosening up, it would be the number of people for a gathering. Right now, it's 10. If you recall, when we were in the infancy stages of the pandemic, the CDC and MDH had it at 250 persons maximum at a gathering. Then it was reduced to 50 and currently is at 10.
So the next time to review this would be the 17th.
Yeah. It would be, the first council meeting thereafter, which happens to be the Tuesday, 2 days later, which is the 19th, 2 weeks from today.
Okay, other councils, members? Mark?
I would agree with staff and I would make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by Cross.
I think as far as the call being made now, it does just make sense based on the numbers, and I will second that motion.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or more discussion? It's just, it's a continuous punch in the gut, I know that. And most of these, of course, Whipple Beach is our big one. And most of these, I'm assuming, a lot of these are for graduation parties. And it's, again, it's just another gut punch. But, hopefully if we can get through this first milestone, there might be some more light on the 17th, and maybe some of this other stuff, can happen. But Todd?
Your Honor and Council, all of us, I bet, have done enough family gatherings that we know we could swoop in there ourselves, clean up the picnic tables, and be operational for almost any kind of family gathering with an hour. So I'm really not, Brad, to your FTE, I'm not as worried about can we get it to a satisfactory cleanliness part or readiness, so much as just like with our summer rec program, I think the city should not be in a position of creating venues that allow people to be greater than 10. I think opening up the shelter houses makes, I don't know if culpable is the right word, but it makes the city look like we're fostering, the potential for events to be larger than 10, for social distancing to be challenging because it's families and close, so that's why I agree with the motion and the second. But it is an ache, to know how desperately people are wanting to get together for all kinds of reasons and see each other. We're social creatures. So I agree with the motion, but I think it's the city's position is more on the not creating, my own opinion is not to create the potential for venues to be challenging social distancing or greater than 10, whatever, the new state of the declaration is. My guess is we'll hear Thursday or Friday before the end of the date, whether it'll be extended again or what the new circumstance is, but I support the motion, as bad as that feels.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Brad?
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Holman,
Yes.
Councilmember Licio,
Yes,
Councilmember Tabit,
Yes.
Mayor Olson.
Yes. That motion carries. I just, it's just a painful time. I had a phone call a week ago or so. Some people's son wants to get married, and they've had this date for literally a year, and they can't find a church, they can't find a park. So then the question was, can we do it in our backyard? And so I visited with the chief a little bit. They're estimating 50 people in their backyard, and it's not until June. And so, what do you tell people? And I said to the chief, what, are we going to go arrest our own people? I mean, it just really has, there's just so many different ramifications of all this. And we're hoping that by June 7th or whatever their date is, that they'll have a little clearer picture and they'll be able to do that. But that's something where, people have no venue and they're coming down to their own backyards, and that's not looking real well either. So it's an ugly situation. Okay, what are we off to? Council comments? Licio?
yeah, I spoke to Pastor Mark Giorlo at Journey North earlier today, and he wanted me to be sure and share with especially you, Mayor, and Chief Exted, how appreciative he is of the support he's feeling from both of you and Chief, especially with Ruby's Pantry coming up next week, how the Baxter Police have stepped up and offered to help out with traffic because they're expecting Ruby's Pantry to have probably close to 500 families that will be served because they're food insecure. And Mark wanted me again to express his desire to help out the city in any way that the Journey North can. So he's very aware of what you are doing for the church, and he again wants to help out.
Well, thank you. And he's been a great Baxter booster. I appreciate all that he has done too. Zach.
I just want to kind of agree with some of the statements that you made earlier, as well as the other council members, that just acknowledging the pain and suffering that people in the city are feeling right now, and just state that, you know, none of these decisions are enjoyable. Appreciate the fact that people are continuing to be patient with it, and thank staff as well. For as little as I'm leaving the house, I'm seeing road crews out and police cars going by, and I know that that's a difficult time for all of our staff as well. I see obviously the administrators in his office, people are still going to work as much as possible. So thanks to all of our staff as well.
Thanks, Zach. Todd?
I don't think I have anything to offer tonight.
Okay, I hear it.
Hey, that's unusual.
I don't believe it, but I hear it. Okay, so Mark?
Well, I guess I just want to echo the fact that of thanking all of our staff and all the citizens, and to remember, be patient. We will get through this. We just have to remember to be patient about it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. And me, I guess. I just wanted to say I've received a lot of calls in the last couple of weeks that been fairly interesting. And in our community, and I'm sure worldwide, there's two voices. There are people that really feel that it's just way out of line, it's gone too far. And there's the other side that are really taking it serious, and they're worried about other people that aren't taking it serious. And so, you know, for us to kind of walk that tightrope has not always been easy. I do my best to explain, you know, our processes and so on and so forth. But what I wanted to say through that is to the community, let it be known that we are trying to live within the guidelines that have been given to us by the state of Minnesota. We feel that is our duty or obligation to not go rogue or maverick on that, and do the best we can with what we've got, and hope that we'll be able to see some light at the end of the tunnel, and be able to relax some things ourselves also. So we're not immune to, you know, the conversations and the opinions. We live here too, and so we are also a part of that and experiencing it. So to Mark's comment, we will get through it, and we're doing the best that we can here. One other thing, I see, I don't see Trevor on the line here, but I got a phone call this afternoon, and he did too. So that's why I was just going to try to compare notes. But an individual down on Forest View on the south end, who's not in this project, but he was traveling north. He was trying to get to a doctor's appointment, and the road was torn up, and he felt that, you know, they'd been given no knowledge of what was going on, and he had an appointment. I don't know if it was doctors or whatever, but it was putting him back about 10 minutes. So his comment was, you know, he thought it was a little inconsiderate that nobody had warned that this might happen. And so I'm thinking out loud here, and Brad, you can weigh in since Trevor's not here, but I'm wondering if part of that problem might be that the people on the north part of the project are getting notifications. They're getting emails. Because we're getting copies of them, and we can see what they're getting. So they have a little bit better idea of what is happening. And if they don't have that idea, they have contact points where they can call. Is that is that potentially the problem with the south side? They don't get those, so they don't know which roads are going to be open. Is that a fair thought, Brad? Or
Um, it may potentially be, but we do know that every PSA that we do does go on social media, is posted on our website, and we do have a website for the project itself where all updated information does get posted on a daily basis. It's the first I've heard of that, Mayor, so I thank you for bringing it to my attention. I will look into it and we'll discuss it at a staff meeting in the morning.
yeah, it just happened like 3 o'clock this afternoon, I guess. So it's just something to think about. But what you're saying is that everybody would have access to those posts.
Yeah, and on the website, the project website, it does allow for people to register their email so that they would get weekly notices as well.
Okay. I will get that message back to that individual then too. Anybody else got anything? Holman.
Yeah, sorry, I could have asked this question during comment. Brad, I just had a question in reading the state's budget forecasts with that $2.4 billion deficit, I think that I read. Relative to the city's finance, when do you think is a reasonable time for us to hear about those forecasts and how they affect the city's local option and, other things that are elements of our budget? Is that something within a month, or where do you see that information kind of trickling down to the city level?
Yeah, and Finance Director Vasinik and I have had conversations about that. And I know he's relayed some points in regards to this. Our local option sales tax, or the reporting, is about 2 months behind current time. So we'll start getting Marches at the end of May. That'll allow us to start doing some forecasting and laying out those impacts from the local option sales tax. Our other main revenue source is the property tax. And at this point in time, we're waiting to see how many property owners that were eligible to seek the penalty relief from the county. Well, we have yet to receive that. And we won't know the percentage of the property owners who pay their real estate taxes until sometime in June. So to give you a fair answer, I would say is probably late June, first part of July, before we really have a clear picture as to where we're at on the revenue side.
Thank you. Yeah, that'll be about our budget time anyway, so.
Okay. City Administrator's report.
I have nothing else to add, Mayor.
City Attorney.
No report.
Report. Okay. I'd like for a motion to adjourn then. I will make that motion.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
Second by Alessio. Roll call. I got it right.
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Licio,
Yes.
Babbitt,
Yes.
and Olson.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks, everybody, for your work, both council and staff. And it's a rapidly changing world, so stay close to your phone. Have a good night.